Today on Inquirer, authorities raid the houses of Negros Oriental Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. in search of loose firearms. Oil spill due to the sinking of a vessel in Oriental Mindoro reaches the shores of Palawan. Philippine Coast Guard reports a decrease in the number of suspected Chinese maritime militia vessels in the West Philippine Sea, but PCG says a warship remains in the area. And Meralco hikes electricity rates in March. Good evening. Police raided the houses of Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. in search of loose firearms. Faith Argusino fills us in with the details. Faith, were the authorities able to seize any firearms from the raid?
Neil, the authorities have uncovered a number of unlicensed firearms and an explosive. The Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group seized one hand grenade, a 45 caliber pistol and magazine, two 40 caliber pistol and magazines, a rifle scope, and 45 and 40 caliber pistol bullets from Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr.'s house. Between 5:50 to 7:35 a.m. today, police raided the houses of Teves in Purok 4, Barangay Poblacion, Basin, Negros Oriental, searching for loose firearms. The raid was conducted by the PNP CIDG, the military, Pasay Municipal Police Station, and Negros Oriental Police Provincial Office. Authorities implemented search warrants against Teves and an occupant of the house identified as Jose Palo Gimarangan for illegal possession of explosives, unlicensed firearms and ammunition, or violation of Republic Act 9516 and 10591 respectively. Teves was tagged in a series of killings in the province in 2019 and was allegedly involved in the shooting of his political rival, Negros Oriental Governor Roel Bigamo. He denied both the accusations for the 2019 killings and Bigamo's slain. Meanwhile, his counsel lawyer Ferdinand Topacio told all concerned to observe sobriety in their pronouncements regarding the allegations against Teves. For his part, House Speaker Martin Romualdez said he advised Teves to return to the country since his travel authorization to the United States is only from February 28 to March 9. The TA of Teves has expired effective today, which means his travel outside the country beyond the period mentioned is no longer authorized by the House of Representatives. Romualdez also said Teves should go home and tell his side of the story, adding that authorities will only stop once the case is solved.
Faith, I understand that Congressman Teves has already denied any involvement in the case of Governor Bigamo, but what was his reasoning then for traveling to the U.S.? Is it related to the Bigamo case?
In a video statement, Teves said he is currently in the U.S. to visit his doctor there for his stem cell treatment.
That's Faith Argusino reporting live. The Philippine Coast Guard reports a decrease in the number of suspected Chinese maritime militia vessels in the West Philippine Sea, but a warship remains in the area. In a statement, PCG spokesperson for West Philippine Sea Affairs, Commodore J. Tariela, says the number of suspected Chinese maritime militia vessels observed over Pag-asa Island is down to 15. Last week, 42 Chinese vessels were within the vicinity of Pag-asa. Tariela notes that the People's Liberation Army warship and a Chinese Coast Guard vessel continue to loiter within Pag-asa's 12 nautical mile territorial sea. In 2016, the United Nations-backed Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague invalidated China's claim to almost the entire South China Sea. The Philippine Coast Guard says the oil spill from an oil tanker that sank off the waters of Oriental Mindoro has now reached the shores of Palawan. To tell us more, here's John Eric Mendoza reporting live. Eric?
Yes, Neil. Philippine Coast Guard personnel visited Barangay Casian in Palawan's Taytay town to confirm that the oil spill reached the area. Once confirmed, authorities began the assessment and cleaning operations there. The distance between Taytay and Nauhan is 159 nautical miles or 295 kilometers. It can be recalled that last February 28, MT Princess Empress, a vessel with approximately 800,000 liters of industrial fuel oil, submerged within the vicinity waters in Nauhan Town. The municipality of Pola in Oriental Mindoro sustained the most damage from the oil spill. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armand Balilo said several mangroves were affected in the province, particularly in Pola Town. Coast Guard clearing operations in Pola Town is still ongoing. Neil?
Eric, this is such an unfortunate event. What has been the impact of the oil spill, particularly on the areas affected and the residents in these areas?
Yes, Neil, because of the damage caused by the oil spill, many fishermen could not resume their fishing operations. So DSWD said that they will roll out a catch for work program for residents in 3 provinces most affected by the oil spill. So here are the following provinces. It's in Batud, Bungabong, Bulalakaw, Gloria, Nauhan, Pinamalayan, Pola, and Rojas in Oriental Mindoro, in Kaluya Town in Antique, and Agutaya Town in Palawan. Neil?
That's John Eric Mendoza reporting live. Octa research reports a low positivity rate of 2.1% in Metro Manila. In a Twitter post, Octa fellow Dr. Guido David reports that the COVID-19 positivity rate increased from 1.8% on March 1 to 2.1% on March 8. David says this remains below 5%, which is the threshold of the World Health Organization indicating containment of the coronavirus. Earlier, Presidential Advisor on COVID-19 Vince Dizon said the government plans to close the book on the pandemic this month. However, Dizon noted transition into the new normal would still depend on the implementation of the government's immunization program. The Department of Health reported on Thursday 162 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the number of active cases in the Philippines to 9,017 cases. Next on Inquirer Today, Chinese crew of distressed fishing vessel in Eastern Samar seeks President Bongbong Marcos' help. Social weather station survey reveals more Filipinos confident economy will improve in 2023. And Meralco hikes electricity rates in March. This is Inquirer Today. We'll be back shortly.
Si Pampi Hazel Balin Cabanyero, 32 years old. Ako po ay isang guro.
Ako naman po si Daddy Herbert Hernandez Cabanyero, 34 years old at may-ari po ng tindahan ng patuka po sa Paki, Laguna.
Amin pong mga anak, si Kuya Maclinhurst D. Cabanyero, 6 years old. Ang birthday po niya ay January 27, 2017. Si Lady Lemon Tape D. Cabanyero, 3 years old po siya. Ang birthday po niya ay January 27, 2020. Ang aming bunso ay si Mac Hurley Gold D. Cabanyero, 3 weeks pa lang po siya. Ang birthday din po niya ay January 27, 2022.
April 16, 2016 po kami kinasal ni Mrs. Siguro po si Kuya ay wedding baby po. Tapos si Ate Lemon naman po ay anniversary baby. And then si Bunso naman ho, hindi po kasi siya inasahan po talaga.
Umaga nung sinelebrate na namin yung birthday ni Kuya. Sa school kasi sabi niya, February 26, manganganak ka bukas. I-celebrate na natin yung birthday ko bukas sa school kasama si Lemon. Kasi sa hapon, lalabas na si baby.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Na-excite siguro to, nagkakantahan sa school na happy birthday. Sabi, makalabas na nga rin mamaya.
Ano din nung kay Lemon, nag-celebrate din kami. Tapos yun, punta siya sa center and then nanganak na agad siya. Lagi po ganun yung scenario.
For the advantages, siguro isang pagod ng pag-aasikaso ng birthday. Kasi kung 3 iba-ibang araw, edi ang daming pagod.
Isang invite ng mga friends, saka ng mga relatives, saka yung mga kakilala. Hindi ka na mahihirapan pa mag-invite ng halimbawa, magkakaiba pa yung birthday. Ito isang invite lang, isang abala kumbaga.
Mahirap po ata yung patamain. Hindi rin po namin alam kung paano. Pero parang sa akin ay sapat na itong aking 3 biyaya.
Pa yan.
Ayoko na.
One more. Kidding aside po, pero kung ano man po yung siguro ikaw lang po nandiyan, halimbawa po, kung meron pa man po pang-4, edi sige po. Kung wala na naman po, edi okay lang din naman po. Kung ano na lang po yung ikalob ng Diyos, edi yun na lang po ang amin.
The 7 Chinese crew members of a distressed fishing vessel in the Sea of Eastern Samar are seeking the help of President Bongbong Marcos so they would be allowed to go home. Cherry Song, whose husband is a cousin of the vessel's owner, said that the crew members' families had been worried about their safety and were waiting for their return. On January 26, the Philippine Coast Guard towed a Chinese fishing vessel after it was found drifting in the waters of Suluan Island, Gian Town in Eastern Samar. Song says the Chinese crew are appealing to President Marcos to allow them to leave and return to China. According to Song, the Philippine Coast Guard, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and the National Bureau of Investigation had inspected the vessel thoroughly and found nothing illegal inside the ship. Earlier, the Philippine Coast Guard said that they would allow the vessel to leave only if everything had been cleared. The Philippine Coast Guard in Tacloban said the vessel had at least 25 deficiencies and lacked documents to be allowed to sail. A social weather station survey reveals that more Filipinos believe the economy will improve in 2023. Data from the SWS survey conducted in December 2022 shows that 48% of adult Filipinos remain confident that the Philippine economy will improve in 2023. 33% expect the economy to remain the same this year, while only 9% of respondents say the economy will worsen. This brings the net economic optimism score to positive 40, marked as excellent by SWS. The Philippine Statistics Authority recorded the Philippine inflation rate slightly dipped to 8.6% in February after 5 months on a skyrocketing trend. Meralco increases power rates in March. Electricity rates for this month increased by 54 centavos per kilowatt hour. This brings the total monthly bill of a typical household to about 11 pesos and 44 centavos per kilowatt hour from 10 pesos and 89 centavos per kilowatt hour in February. For residential customers consuming 200 kilowatt hours, the adjustment is equivalent to an increase of about 109 pesos in their Meralco bill for the month. In a statement, Meralco says the rate increase is due to higher generation charge triggered by the shutdown of the Malampaya gas-to-power facility for maintenance in February. INQUIRER.net's short documentary Sinking Island was chosen as a finalist in the 2023 Lasallian Scholarum Awards. The short documentary is among the finalists under the category Outstanding Video Feature Story on Youth and Education. The Lasallian Scholarum Awards is De La Salle University's annual media recognition program that recognizes outstanding coverage of youth and education stories. Sinking Island tells the case of Batasan Island in Bohol Province, which is feared to be slowly being swallowed by the sea amid the worsening climate change. The short documentary also looks at the stories of residents there and their battle for the island they call home. It also looks at the local government's actions in response to the rising sea waters that is threatening the island and its residents. Other finalists under the Outstanding Video Feature Story on Youth and Education category include Balik Ilog, Fimagas Class of 2022, Here Comes the Child Bride, Runaway Child Brides, ang kwento ng mga tumakas sa buya ng mga manobo, and Usok sa Gubat from GMA News and Public Affairs. COVID-19 addressing the education crisis of CNN Philippines and Estudyante na Taho Vendor pa of ABS-CBN are also among the finalists. The awarding ceremony will be held on March 22 at the De La Salle University in Manila. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Ann Therese Arceo ng Bandera. Ann?
Hello Neil at hello sa lahat ng kabandera natin all over the universe. Narito ang latest chika for today. Nagsalita na ang dating talent manager ni Liza Soberano na si Ogie Diaz hinggil sa issue na di umano'y hindi nito pinayagan ng aktres para mag-audition sa role na Mary Jane sa Marvel movie na Spider-Man. Matatanda ang nagtrending ang pahayag ni Jeffrey O, CEO ng Careless Music, na siyang kasalukuyang nangangalaga sa career ng dalaga sa nagdaang 2nd Philippine Creative Industry Summit. Aniya, nag-reach out raw kay Liza noon ng Marvel para paanyayahan itong mag-audition sa role bilang si Mary Jane, ngunit hindi raw ito pinayagan ng dating management. Chika pa niya, totoo raw talagang marami nang ginagawang proyekto si Liza noon, lalo na't nakagawa na ito ng pangalan sa industriya. Dapat raw ay nag-uusap sina Liza at ang bago nitong management o kaya naman ay nagtatanong muna ang Careless CEO kung anong pakakawalang statement dahil naging sanhi ito para mas lalo pang mabash ang dalaga. Paglilinaw ni Ogie, wala siyang natatandaang nakarating na imbitasyon sa kanila noon. Sabi pa niya, si Liza Soberano na rin po ang nagsabi niyan na walang imbitasyon na galing sa Marvel at yung tweet na yon ay galing sa isang fan na nagpakalat na naniniwala na posibleng makapasok si Liza bilang isa sa mga extra or may mga roles doon sa Spider-Man kung siya ay sakaling mag-o-audition. Dagdag pa niya, hindi raw niya alam kung saan nanggagaling ang statement ni Jeffrey O, kaya naman humihingi ito ng resibo o pruweba na susuporta sa pahayag nito. Say niya, Mr. Jeffrey, you might want to release the receipt or proof that Liza received an invitation from Marvel to audition for the role of Mary Jane. Dahil ako bilang former manager ni Liza at ng Star Magic at ng ABS-CBN, as far as we know, walang imbitasyon mula sa Marvel. Gusto raw niyang humingi ng katibayan para naman daw makahingi sila ng tawad sa dalaga sa kanilang pagkakamali kung mayroon man. Dahil sino nga raw ba ang aayaw sa offer na ito, lalo na't lead role at matagal ng pangarap ni Liza na makasali sa isang Hollywood movie. Dagdag pa niya, pinagmumukhang ilusyonado si Liza. Diyos ko naman, hindi naman starlet si Liza. Sikat pa rin naman si Liza. Bakit kailangan dumaan sa ganitong katsipan si Liza? Hindi rin daw sure ni na Ogie kung isa ito sa strategy ng management ng actress para lumikha ng ingay. Kung ito man daw ang kanilang balak ay talagang nagtagumpay sila. Banat pa ng talent manager, after all, hindi niya rin naman kukunin si Liza kung hindi rin naman siya sikat. Kung nanatili siyang starlet sa loob ng 10 taon. You cannot erase the fact that ABS-CBN, Star Magic, and Ogie Diaz were part of Liza Soberano's success, popularity you are enjoying. I know you can take good care of her as much as we did. Bukas naman ang bandera para sa pahayag ng Careless Music hinggil sa isyong ito. At yan nga ang latest showbiz chika for today. Tutok lang sa bandera para sa mas pasabog pang chika sa mundo ng showbiz. Maraming salamat, Neil.
Maraming salamat, Ann. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Catch Inquirer Today live weekdays at 6 p.m. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.